Hey, Kid Steen with Crypto the Wonder Dog. So, a couple weeks ago, or actually, it wasn't a couple weeks ago, it was just last week, I was in LA and I met Chris. Oh, God, why does his name escape me on right now? Why would that happen? Because I have a memory of a gnat. Chris Woodrow, and if I get my mouse to work over here, Chris Woodrow from MovieCoin, and being in the LA area, Hollywood, movies are it's kind of a bread and butter around here. It's what everyone wants to do. It's why that it takes an hour to go 10 miles in LA, because everybody wants to be in LA. Everyone wants to be an actor. Everyone wants to work in a movie. And I did it years ago. Still working at a smaller capacity with more industrial type films. I like the people better. But you got to pay for those things. They're not cheap and they're not free. And somebody's got to write a check. And a lot of times it's kind of a risk to put a movie together. And my friends over at Hollywood Hot Rod, they know that. I've talked with Courtney Hansen and Troy Ladd last couple of years now about getting their show going up and going, and they just started production on that Royal Garage, which will be on History Channel coming up later this fall. You guys stay tuned for that. But that brings us back to MovieCoin and BANKEX, and they kind of have a little of a partnership. MovieCoin is a financing platform for movies, and then BANKEX is the financial platform that backs MovieCoin. So, and as I was educated, as I was brought to my attention today, that there's a sweet spot for movie making whenever it comes to what it costs, and it can't be too small and it can't be too large, but there's a sweet spot in there. And I guess your movie wants to fall within that sweet spot, but you can't just say the movie was worth this much when it's not really. But there's got to be checks and balances in place to make sure your movie actually is worth that, and it's going to bring a return for the people putting their money into your movie. Igor Kimmel, Khmel, from BANKEX, just had a good talk with him. Kind of explain the ins and outs of what's going on in the world of finance with movies. And he has been around the finance world for a long time, so I think it was a great marriage for him to do this. Also, they had a few other projects that they're working on, and he got into that. But this is the talk that I had with Igor from BANKEX. All right, you guys ready to start the show? All right, let's start the show. Calling each other from? Where are you at?
I'm in Toronto right now.
Oh, you're in Toronto. Okay. And do you go to LA a lot? Are you hanging out with Chris over there in LA?
Chris is in Toronto as well.
Oh, he is. Okay. So you guys.
Yeah, it's the Toronto Film Festival right now here. Oh. So it's kind of big deal.
Yeah.
In movie production.
Wow. Okay. So you're BANKEX, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're the CEO of BANKEX?
Yeah, founder and CEO, yeah.
Okay, did you were you involved in film financing before this?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm building infrastructure for that, so
building the infrastructure for that. Okay.
Yeah. For me, it's kind of the same infrastructure applied to different industries. So,
okay.
So movie became the first one. Then we do music, we do art, we do real estate.
Oh, you're doing music too?
Yeah,
Really?
we are starting music with. We have some people who bake in movie coin with music, intensive music background.
Really? Okay, cool.
Uh,
No, so how did you and Chris run into each other?
We met basically. I have my old colleague who from McKinsey who moved through to Los Angeles and after UCLA, and he reached out to me and saying that they consider use tokenization for fundraising for Hollywood,
Okay.
and I prepared some material as a kind of idea how this can be done.
Yeah.
But those guys, they didn't. They basically were kind of didn't have flexibility to follow my plan. And then I met Chris for randomly for another person in Hollywood, and he liked the plan,
Yeah.
and we go after with this plan.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so BankX. So were you involved with? You must be involved with some kind of finance in background, right?
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I was. I used to work in start my career in Deloitte corporate finance. I was in McKinsey also corporate finance specialization, so management consulting and corporate finance. And then I was in Stanford Business School. At that time, I made internship at Citadel Hedge Fund in Chicago. So I had natural inclination toward capital markets and all that. And finally, I consulted after business school. I consulted BBVA Innovations, so BBVA Bank, and I worked 3 years as a head. So I founded and worked 3 years as a head of innovation lab in Sberbank,
Okay.
which is the biggest bank back in Russia, and it's
Wow.
300,000 employees, 20,000 branches, 80 million clients, 8 billion net profits.
Oh my
So,
God! Wow. So you do have quite a history in finance there.
yeah.
Wow. And so how did you go from the banking world into the technology and crypto blockchain world?
So I left at some moment. I left bank in order to run my own company, and the whole idea was original one, bank as a service. So making kind of API that connects to the bank's third-party fintech players, third-party applications, and simplify integration with the bank infrastructure. So and this idea come from Germany. So it's a bank like Feeder there. They're doing this stuff right now. Solaris. So it's a big idea, and for the future of banking platforms.
Yeah.
And this was the original, and then also the second thing was Uberization. So with this API, we wanted to do Uberization of banking services. And the first service that I built on this idea was a third-party delivery of third-party credit cards by independent couriers that can become bank representative.
Okay.
So it's basically Uberization of banking stuff. And so this is how we come up with this Uberization and bank as a service model. And it was early 2016, and by end of 2016, I understand that the whole market was going to blockchain direction, and my idea is it can be implemented and executed there as tokenization. So tokenization of some spare resources, and so this is how I end up with tokenization of particular spare resource of different that exist within the banks or outside of banks, basically tokenization of assets. So and then finally, BankEx was built as infrastructure to make any kind of tokenization and security tokens.
Okay. So we're gonna go to the BankX BankX site here. What happened to that? Let's see here. No. Is that it? Oh, there we go. Okay. So on your website here, we're looking at the website now, and Securitization 2.0 operating system for capital markets. So take us through that real quick.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with capital markets, so there is the thing named securitization. Securitization, which means that issue security that is freely tradable on exchanges, backed by some cash flow. So if you have some company that generates, or some entity that generates money,
Okay.
so those money can be paid as dividends based on to the securities. So the beauty of this tool that you can combine similar assets all together and make a big volume of them and issue a lot of similar securities that becomes very liquid, very fungible. So one after another, no difference. And this is the biggest asset class that is doing that is mortgages.
Mortgages.
So
Okay. Real estate world.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So mortgages, bonds, securities. This is the securitization of loans, residential loans, that people take in order to buy the apartments, and then all these loans combined to the portfolios, and then security are issued. So, it's a very huge phenomena, and what we are doing, it's we're implying the same thing for decentralized and assets that traditionally were difficult to do securitization because they were very decentralized, very different, and it was very high cost for standardization. So blockchain simplify and make this cost lower, so we can enable new markets.
Okay. And so that's kind of how you fell into movie financing, because you have an asset that you can tokenize.
Yeah, exactly. The movie financing is one of the like difficult but very good examples of this. So each movie is obviously is unique, and but it has like some similarities in terms of financing and the standard approach.
Yeah.
And what we are doing, we are selecting the top 10 like legal agreements for each movie production. One movie in every takes 150 documents to produce, so it's 150 contracts.
Wow.
So yeah, it's I was also surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
Huh.
then we basically we're selecting like about top 10 or out of that contracts, and make the standardization of these contracts, and writing the smart contracts or some blockchain algorithms in order to run these standardized contracts. So by end of the day, the investors in this movie, they will see how their money going from their wallets to the wallet of the guilds or the wallet of movie producers, and then how their money from box office revenue goes back to their wallets. So it adds transparency and also adds standardization of rules. So all the movie that finance through this standard, through the tokenization, they will be according to the same legal agreements. So
Okay.
the final goal is to make mainstream. This is the mainstream financing of movies, so the people start to standardize their contracts, be more transparent and fair.
Oh yes, yes. So when you're doing a movie and you're going to be tokenizing the movie, whenever these people uh, they 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 are investing in the movie with tokens, right?
They're investing in the movies in with US dollars.
With dollars, okay.
Uh,
And they're
uh,
receiving tokens, basically, right?
it's more complex,
Okay.
more complex there. Yeah. So there is so when the people invest in tokens. So the people invest in some fund, which invest in portfolio of movies. So it's a bad idea to invest in one movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
since
yeah. You want to spread it out a
so
little bit.
yeah, you better spread it out like for the choose 10 movies, like which is named
Yeah.
Slate financing in this industry. So and so invest in the fund invest in the slate of movies, so different movie, and those movies it's separate tokens, and those tokens are traded on security token exchange, so they can be bought, sold back and forth on the security token exchange. And the people who invest in movies, they basically what they do, they're using obviously fiat, so US dollars,
Okay.
but in order to be used in the system, though, so they're gonna use like a stable coin. So they're gonna use stabilized, similar to Tether, like internal Tether, to in the system, and they're gonna pay most of the commission generated at the platform from MovieCoin. So it will be a combination of the like this internal private Tether and MovieCoin.
Okay, so We talked with Chris a couple of days ago. Chris Woodrow, chairman
Okay.
and CEO of MovieCoin, and so he's been up to he hangs out with you guys up there in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and were you at all involved with movie financing before this?
Me none.
No. So he was the one that kind of introduced you to the whole movie financing part of this.
Hmm.
All right. Okay, I get it. All right. And so tell me the relationship between MovieCoin and BankEx now.
Yeah, so BankEx, it's MovieCoin is a joint venture between management team and Chris team and BankEx. So we right now, BankEx right now has control voting. So basically, we control like 51% of the company.
Okay.
And we also back the company. So we invested in the company, and right now we are helping actively to make this happen.
And
For us, MovieCoin is very important since it's our first. So we're building infrastructure, as I said, for securitization, and our final goal is to implement this infrastructure to build new markets, and this new market. So MovieCoin is the first end-to-end built example case of the new market. So with success of MovieCoin, it's going to be the biggest new market probably that with the asset that doesn't exist before
okay.
in the world. And so we are raising $250 million fund for that. So it's going to be one of the significant players. And so kind of Decentralized studio, which is similar to Netflix, Amazon, or like old players like Paramount and all that.
Really? So you guys are gonna have your own slate of movies that just like
Yeah.
Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah, most likely it's gonna so it will be either white labeled, licensed, all that, but for sure we'll have also our own slate of movies, and even we plan to run our own festival named MovieCon, and MovieCon it will be the place where the people who like MovieCoin and support the movies, they can go and like in the Cannes festival check out like Sundance, yeah. So
Yeah.
check out the new movies and share the experience.
And so, is this going to like I've done a couple of shows on movies that are being tokenized? Is this going to take away from the big studios? Is something that the studios are kind of centralized, and this is something that's going to be decentralized for movie making?
It's most likely it's going to be some movies that is like studio level, but were not financed by studios for some reasons. And so there is like here's the Birdman. Birdman wasn't like Oscar movie that Greece was behind, but it was difficult to raise money as far as I know for Birdman from studios. So good financing from studios. So it was filmed another way. And we hope that the studios will also transfer and migrate to our standard themselves, since this standard will add transparency to the whole financing process, and it will make easier for studios to raise money. So we hope that both things will happen.
So you think it'll be easier for studios to raise money like this instead of their old-fashioned way of they get a bunch of producers together and they put their money in it.
Yeah. If the studio is good, is making money like and consistently, investors so happy. It's the best way to prove it.
Yeah,
it's our way. Yeah.
And whenever these, so if you're getting involved in movie financing, if the movie does better than the people buying the tokens, the value of the tokens go up.
It's any kind of market. Yeah.
Okay. So the better the movie does, then the better the token's going to do.
Yeah, the better movie does, the better the token's going to do. And because of MovieCoin as utility token, so it means that more movie finance for the platform, more the speed of MovieCoins like circulation increase, and it also brings the MovieCoin up. So it's a function not of the particular movie success, but the function of the volumes that is going for the platform.
Okay, and where is this just a we think of movie making. You obviously think of Hollywood. So is this just going to be a Hollywood thing, or are you going to, can anybody from around the world participate in this?
This on the first stage, it's the movie made in Hollywood. Anybody around the world will be able to invest in this movie.
Yeah.
And the next stage, then there will be joint ventures of this platform with local players in China and India as the two markets outside of Hollywood. So there will be Bollywood and Chinese market.
Bollywood, yeah, they produce some really great movies out there.
Yeah,
and Canada too. And, Canada, right? I mean, there are a lot of production happening up in Canada.
Yeah, the Canada will be like a headquarter in terms of like legal and making this happen in terms of financing.
Yeah.
So the movies will be made in Hollywood, but financing will go for Canada.
Okay, and how does that? Because I know that a lot of companies were moving their production to Canada because of the tax breaks that they were getting tax up in Canada. Yeah. Is that the same thing going to happen with when they're investing with crypto?
It's the same rules. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the crypto, we for the movies it's because of the tax credit, and for the crypto because the regulations in Canada it's more kind of more friendly. For crypto and blockchain in the United States. So it's possible here to submit your application and get feedback from regulator like in some meaningful timeline and really so these guys here, they want us to build our business here.
Yeah.
And they're really helpful.
Okay.
So this helps, yeah.
All right, and so say somebody has like here in LA or Orange County, somebody has a slate of movies that they want to get financed. What can you kind of go through the steps of what needs to happen to get involved with MovieCoin?
So at least at the beginning, we consider only the movies that come from kind of official channels. So come from insiders, from the people who are bringing movies to the leading producers.
Okay.
So we have the same sources of movies as studios have.
Okay.
And so that's why we do not accept submissions like from indie producers or something like that. Which is
okay. So somebody has their own little movies, they can't just submit it. It's got to be.
Yeah. So it's first of all, it should become commercially viable. So that's why we're doing that in order to build track record and make it commercially viable. And so those guys who want to submit, they have to probably first to go through the filter of the people who select new scenarios and new. It's not us. So the people who work with the people like us or with studios and select the movies for financing.
Okay, got it. I had a couple of links on here that I was given by I think it was Ryan, right? You work with Ryan. Media token. What? Tell me what media token is here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, media token. It's so in terms of BANKEX, we have like different layers. So asset class, it's our final destination, but before that, we have some applications. Applications, which means kind of a prototype of a future coin, but without only like a technical product. So without all the pieces and without regulational support. So media token is a prototype of the potential future token for financing of bloggers and financing of media creators.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So for the bloggers, media token. We finance like a couple of bloggers in the way. We prove that these things work.
Okay.
So it's just staying on the shelf, waiting for the best partner and or the client to execute. And the best one is probably like Google or Facebook. So Instagram, YouTube is the best one.
Yeah.
So since they control the biggest platforms, and it works in the way that if you like a blogger, like let's say. In Instagram, you have like a growing account, and after some amount of followers, you got money from advertisers, so you become eligible to be part of the portfolio of advertising agencies.
Yeah.
So And if your block right now 20,000, and then we give you investments, and it's growing to 100,000 followers. And after that, you got cash flow from all the corporations and advertisements. So at that moment, you can pay back the loan, or you can take this media token that you sold like some time ago as a way to pay for exposure. So like for 1,000 of followers, that is tracking like BMW or whatever. So
Yeah.
for exposure that you can get for product placement.
Beautiful. Wow. Well, that sounds interesting. That sounds like something I want to get involved with.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, there is a lot of elements here, obviously, but we build the loop, and it just requires a lot of energy, entrepreneurial energy, and big players to be interested in order to build this market.
Wow. Okay, cool. Media token. And all right, cool. Another one is Scan. Is that Scan? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, BANKEX Scan.
Okay, so what is that?
Yeah, it's recently we released the application on iPhone for BANKEX Scan. Right? We have like wallet and BANKEX Scan application. So BANKEX Scan, it's kind of if you know like Ethereum Scan, it's the way to track transactions on blockchain. BANKEX Scan, it's more universal way. So basically, you will be able to track some security token transactions, and in some cases we'll also kind of upload some metadata related to this transaction. So it's a kind of audit that you are doing in order to see what's behind this asset. You can find out what is there, what's the history of the asset.
Okay, very cool. All right, moving on here, we have App Token. APPTOKEN, and this is also another BankEx project, right?
Yeah, App Token. It's similar to Media Token, so it's one of those concepts that we built potentially for tokenizing applications and raising money for developers in order to grow the functionality and audience of the application. So the concept is very similar to Media Token.
Okay, it looks like you guys have a lot of exposure from Bloomberg and Top 50 Entrepreneur, Blockchain, InnoTribe.
Yeah, it was a ranking in some UK financial innovation ranking, and Bloomberg. We had publications with MovieCoin.
Wow, cool. All right.
I was on Nasdaq TV last month.
Yeah.
New York. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so then we have the Bounty service, right? Bounty.bankx.com.
Bounty service. It's another element of token sales. So basically, this is kind of giving some tokens for the behavior that we want to stimulate. So it could be social sharing of some news on the social network. So it's basically the instrument, the tool to create a hype. So if we want to create a hype around anything, like for instance, new movie was just released.
Okay.
And we want to create a hype and drive people there, so we can implement bounty program and saying that anybody who could go to the movie will be eligible to get those tokens, or leave feedback on the movie on some social networks, all that. So this helps to generate momentum on particular events.
Oh, so people can earn tokens by going to movies, talking about it, sharing it. Beautiful. Okay. What a great idea, man. Okay, so and then we're back at MovieCoin now. So, wow. So people can check out all of these things on BankEx. BankEx.com, right? BankEx.com. Yeah, BANKEX.com. Man, you got your hands on a lot of projects going on here, and I assume
people, yeah.
I assume you got a lot of people around the world working with you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and then what's a day like for you? What how does your day start, man?
I'm kind of more evangelist and strategy guy.
Yeah.
So I'm So I'm spending a lot of all my time in flights and going through all over the world. So this year I used to live 138 days in the United States, 70, 80 days in Russia, 20 days in Asia, in Hong Kong. So and I'm traveling back and forth all the time, and I'm doing this in order to meet different. So first of all, to support MovieCoin, and as a new venture and new market, and then to meet enterprise clients and to visit a different office of BANKEX. And so we have most engineers in Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kiev. So, and then we have all the sales people, all the business people, they're in New York, Los Angeles, Hong Kong, a little bit Tokyo. So I'm number one in terms of sales and evangelism for the company.
Sure.
And I have a very strong operational team back in the engineering offices in Moscow.
Sure.
And I have with them some short daily calls and some long weekly calls where we synchronize on what we are doing. We are tracking our tasks in Jira. We're tracking our leads in Pipedrive. So we have number of systems, and then we have a huge amount we have a lot of working conversations in Telegram. So we have many channels going on.
Yeah. And are you going to be involved with the film festival market? Are you going to Cannes? Are you going to Sundance?
So I was in Cannes this year with Chris.
Yeah.
My contribution, I'm more kind of a launcher, so I'm involved in MovieCoin so intensively at the stage of launch. As soon as the business already going and it's kind of standardized, then I will be moving for a new asset.
Okay.
So we'll be more concentrating on music and real estate, and probably art at some point soon. So so that's why I don't have plans to be heavily involved in in the ongoing market.
Yeah,
but I will come back in order to kind of track what's going on and in terms of our goals. So are we on track, and so we're supposed to be transparent and the most efficient way to invest money in movies. So I just want to make sure that what we are doing is on the right track.
Yeah. Does it help if you go to these film festivals? Does it help Movie Token, or is it just another excuse to go out and party for you guys?
The party here is not so interesting as a crypto party. It helps to build partnerships. So today we met very strong companies, insiders in the industry, one of the global leaders. And I came just for them to Toronto. I made this trip from London to Toronto for 2 days and then go back. Because those guys, decision makers, they wanted to understand who is behind MovieCoin and who are those technological guys, what is their mindset, where they want to go, and how they can really whether the people are right people to bet on the long-term partnerships.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why it's important to have both of us, me and Chris, on the table when we talk to partners.
Yeah. Well, are you guys going to be doing anything with like TV series, or is this just primarily movies?
There is the pipeline that we are open to extend this to TV shows.
Yeah.
With TV, the only thing right now, TV is more efficient. It's more kind of shorter level of production and financing. So it's a big market. It's even bigger probably than movies, but it's more efficient in terms of financing. So that's why we don't have so big pain there that it will be solved through the tokens.
Yeah.
We don't see that as in movie production, but clearly there is some place there for sure. We just haven't met yet the right people.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. And then the American film market, I know is coming to LA in a month or so, right? I don't know. Are you guys getting involved with the American film market?
Yeah, for sure. It's Chris, not me,
Yeah,
probably.
because he's in LA anyway, so I would
Yeah,
assume you guys
yeah.
would be there, have a presence
I will
there.
be. I will be all September. I will be or basically already on Tuesday. I will be in Hong Kong. So I will be
Oh,
all next week. I will all September. I will be Hong Kong, Seoul, Singapore, and Tokyo.
wow.
And then I will come back to LA on like October 1 and 2nd. I will be speaker at the Grill conference. It's a technology for entertainment
Oh, really?
conference. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Oh,
October 1 and 2nd in LA. So we
wow.
can meet there in person.
Wow, yeah, I'd love to come out and we were going to try to have I guess you and Chris on at the same time the other day when we were in LA.
Yeah.
But I guess some signals got crossed. We didn't get you on there, but that'd be great to sit with you and Chris and let you guys kind of talk about the progress that's happened since I talked to Chris.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
So
let's catch up there. We're going after right now big partnerships, and
yeah,
so we're building the momentum and supporters. So the
yeah,
goal is to build a global standard, and that's why it should be some first year partners for that, including like studios, movie theaters, like technological companies,
hmm,
all together.
yeah, and I would assume with how big that online is today. I mean, like Hulu is now they're streaming live TV, so you don't even really need cable anymore. I would
Yeah.
assume that
Mhm.
you're going to be working with big names like that too.
We we are not approached them yet. We have some conversation with Amazon, but on technological side,
With
since our
Amazon, okay,
custody solution that is the BANKEX developed and that is will be used for, it's like probably the Coinbase custody.
yeah.
So we as a BANKEX we also have the custody and the crypto custody, and our custody is built in Amazon cloud.
Oh,
So
okay, very
so
good.
keeping all your kind of private stuff in the cloud, and this is more secure than if you keep them like in the in the secret vault. So,
Yes, I know, I get it. Yeah, I actually have a documentary that I did on auto racing on Amazon Prime. It's called Racing Through the Forest that we
okay,
did. So I'm a big fan of Amazon right now.
yeah, I'm also, as soon as they also become 1 trillion company.
Yeah, yeah, heck yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So
Uh,
we keep that in Amazon cloud, and I mean technologically we clearly partner. We're gonna partner with them and become their big corporate user. So we create for them a kind of value added services on top of their cloud.
yeah.
It means that if we continue to utilize that, other people will buy the cloud subscription because of us.
Wow.
So this makes sense for them. So they can sell cloud more and in bigger sizes, more expensive, etc. This kind of partnerships, yeah. Then we have some partnership we discussed with a couple of other crypto companies who tokenize kind of streaming, and this one is similar to Hulu, yeah,
Oh,
or
really?
Netflix. So it's not Hulu, but similar to.
Yeah.
So the idea is when you're paying per watching, if you're watching something, and you're paying for the content you watched, or you got paid because you watched advertisements. So all that models.
Oh, that's great, man. Yeah, I like that. I've seen a few of those things where you actually get paid to watch somebody's commercial,
Yeah,
so you're not wasting your time.
it's not exactly our model, but our partners basically developing this stuff, and we have agreement when we can pay for their services. Our users can pay by our tokens for their
Yeah.
services, and back and forth.
How do you think about that? I mean, I've seen that model a few times where people think that they're going to be able to tokenize. You have a commercial instead of you paying Google every time somebody watches that commercial, you're going to pay that person to watch
Hmm.
your commercial, right? So how do you think that's going to work?
Um, I think, like frankly speaking, in terms of I would not trust people to select advertisements, since big data and kind of behavioral analysis making this better.
Yeah.
Uh, do you have roles, or you see me?
Yeah, I think our video froze there for a second. I,
Okay.
uh, technology. We need a decentralized video chat.
Yeah. One of my friends is doing that.
Is he?
Yeah, he's doing. He want to do token sale the same way. Now there's the movie Silicon Valley show. Silicon Valley.
Oh,
seasons.
really? He works on that show?
Yeah. No, he's doing the same stuff as they did in this movie.
I love that show, Silicon Valley. Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. So he's doing sharding of data feed on different mobile phones. Exactly in the same way as the main guys did.
Yeah. Oh, how great is that, man? That's really cool.
Yeah. I can call back. Just wait a minute. Well, I cannot. There's no video yet. Yeah.
No video right now.
Just a moment. I will call back.
Okay, cool. I'll wait for you right here.
Okay.
In the meantime, we'll go back to the website, checking out BANKEX.com. Being in the movie industry and working in this most of my, a lot of my adult life, big fan of this. So I'd love to see something that would help out the independent filmmakers. This seems to be something for the mainstream, bigger budget movies, but I think there's got to be something like this that could work for the little guys too. Maybe he can help us out with that. Speaking of small time TV stuff, not small time. No, that's not small. Our show is sponsored today by Royal Garage, a new show on the History Channel, which is Troy Ladd of Hollywood Hot Rods, right here, Hollywood Hot Rods, in Glendale, one of the greatest minds in developing hot rods and race cars and making things look really cool and go really fast. Courtney Hansen, his cohort on that show there, and they are co-hosts. I don't want to say one is a sidekick, but I think they're co-hosts on that. And she's not only brains and beauty, but she's also a car girl that knows a heck of a lot about cars. And she's getting her hands dirty on this show. She's not just sitting back and watching people work. She's going to be helping out too, picking up wrenches and whatever else that she's going to do. Great radio here. Great radio. And technology, man. This technology thing, it's killing me. Igor should be calling back any second now. Igor Kimmel from BANKEX, BANKEX.com. Let's go back to this website here. Maybe you guys can help me out with this. Community vote to list BANKEX on Fintech. I guess that would be an exchange. BANKEX Securitization 2.0 operating system for capital markets. There he is. Let's see if we can get him back here. Okay, there you are. Look at that. We made it. Get it back. All right.
Okay.
So Igor's back online with us here. Okay, we were just talking to the kids about TV shows and stuff, but I'm glad to have you back here. So what were we talking about? Man, my old age, my memory just goes away from me.
Yeah,
man.
I said about the memories of the phone. So it's Pied Piper. This is how the guys captured the video on different devices.
Okay.
Like decentralized way. So it's technically it's something like that is possible. So.
Yeah. And I like your model here, and I'm sure, just like every small time movie producer in LA, and everyone has a movie, everyone's got an idea, everyone's got a concept. Is there any way to take this idea that you guys have or this model and make it accessible for the independent filmmakers, where they could get their voice out there and make these, instead of a $10-15 million movie, they can make a $50,000 or $100,000 movie?
Yeah. So here it's kind of the problem here is that when the movie budget is more like than $15 million, the sweet spot is between 15 and 60. So when it's there, then the rules of financial markets can be implemented. So it could be insurance of the movie, some bond, it can be bank leverage, it can be all the financial tools there. And that's why those movies that get in financing, they get in like all the benefits, and this decreasing the risk for investor.
Really?
And,
even though it's like $50 million, it's decreasing the risk.
Starting from 15 up to 60. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So like more than 60, it's too large to a special case, and less than 15, it's small, not. Or sometimes it's not big enough in order to get access like to their to particular tools that is needed in order to decrease the risk. And that's why it's like for the small budget movie, it's quite risky, and it's so it should be, it can be done. That's why it's often like financed like through the services like Kickstarter, so completely retail crowdfunding, because institutional money and do not want ready to go there. And
wow. Okay.
And so since there are no insurance, no like some things that institutions require, and so the answer is that there is two ways how this can be done. It's either, for instance, MovieCoin will get a lot of like huge secondary market, and it means that we will become like the biggest crowdfunding platform potentially for the movies, and at that moment we can open like indie desk, so the desk where the people can finance indie movies.
Okay.
With higher risk, with all those disclaimers, but it will be like a crowdfunding, because by default our movie is financed by institutionals, not by crowd. The crowd only do retail, secondary trading of movies, but in new origination, the original financing going from institutional money, and institutional money is not the right money for indie movies. So indie movies should be financed through retail, but then it means should be a lot of retail investors. Or maybe somebody, some of our partner will come up with big data way to treat indie movie as institutional, like, and to package them together and to treat them as like big movies. Yeah. So if somebody will come up with this technology, then we will be able to implement institutional financing as well.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well, we, in Hollywood, we keep our fingers crossed that we can get more smaller movies. 'Cause there's a lot of good movies that come out that don't have big budget. Just because they don't have a big budget doesn't mean that they weren't a good movie. But I understand the risk thing.
Yeah. We all know about great examples, like when the low budgets, like Blair's, like all those
Blair Witch
movies,
Project.
When they're like low budget movie, great, like where like short runs, home runs. But there is like you can imagine it probably now, like how many movies never made it, and
I mean, even when I was an actor, and I worked on even big budget movies when I was an actor, and back in the late '80s and early '90s, I never saw them, and they were back then. I remember there was one movie. It was probably, I don't know, $15 million back then. Never saw the light of day, and that movie just went. Phew. So, and the straight to video thing. Remember when movies go straight to video?
Documentary movie. It's very difficult to make commercially viable documentary movie.
Oh yes. So, I know that one. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I'm not from the industry, but you see,
you've learned a lot, haven't you? Yeah, you learned a lot.
That's why we're selecting this particular size of the movie, and still even with this size we're going for slates, so we combine them. It's all about because we want this process to be kind of repeatable, and the people enjoy the results. So we need to think about long term about these risks and how we treat them.
Yeah, I get it, man. Well, very good, man. I'm glad I got you on here. Sorry to take you away from part of your day up there in Canada, and it's Friday for you, so winding things down, getting ready to travel. But appreciate your time coming on and letting us talk about this, and hope we can.
See you in Los Angeles. See you in October 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's hang out, man. All right.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, good talking with you, Igor. All right, man. Good talk, brother.
Bye.
All right. See you.
Guys.
All right.